The following audio was originally aired on Play-by-Play on KLEB Radio.
You were at the tank last night. You watched Golden Meadow get the Parish Championship clinching win, capping an undefeated season. I believe 26-0 is the final number. Damien and those folks are celebrating and soaking it all in, and absolutely rightfully so. A season for the ages. LCO put together a strong performance. Because they don't know, they got one eighth grader, man, and they fought him. It was a fairly competitive game. So next year they're going to be in position to make a surge and make a push. Couldn't be happier for Down the Bayou basketball. Just looking at the girls' side, what did you see last night?
Well, look, the first game, LCO comes out with a pretty darn good plan. They started triangle in 2. They jumped the box in 1. And it was 12-10, I believe, at half. It slowed down the Lady Lion offense. But at the end of the day, the Lions just had too much firepower. LCO played well, and it's crazy. Golden Meadow was up 2 at half. If they make their free, they shot 10 foul shots in the first quarter. 10 in a 6-minute quarter. If they would have made more of them shots, they'd have been up comfortably at halftime. LCO, I think they missed some easy shots on the inside.
Sure.
But they came out with a great plan, and they slowed down the Lions for sure.
So kudos to Coach St. Pierre last night. Let's talk about this on the Golden Meadow side. I was talking actually to our buddy Coach Case, and he said that he shot Damien a note last night, just congratulating him on the big win. And the phrasing that he said is, man, I don't care what level you are, winning 26 in a row is hard to do. And Damien was even saying last night and talking to him, and I'm sure he's going to echo this when he comes on a little later in the show. He said, man, look, after the Thibodeau game on Tuesday, my team was done. He said they were not 1,000% focused last night. Mentally and physically, they were very tired. And that's the thing, man. When you go on a run of 20-plus, 26 games in a row without losing, that snowball starts to build. And, yeah, you get confidence, but you also get a lot of pressure. Like the community's relying on you to win. And Damien told me yesterday he wakes up and gets a phone call from Mayor Joey Buzigar. And, like there's a lot going on there. So for them to persevere through that and win the 26 games in a row, that's very impressive. And frankly, that's very hard to do.
Yeah, it is. And I think you're right. No matter what level, was it 26?
I think it's 26 in a row.
Yeah, that's tough to do.
Let's see. Look at that. They got 26-0, a perfect season for Golden Meadow. And yeah, that's one that they're not going to be doing every year. That's one that is a once in a lifetime type of thing, where you could go through the entire schedule and just never have a hiccup. Let's go to the phone lines and let's welcome our buddy, Coach Damien St. Pierre. This is our Martin's AC and Electric coaches interview and also State Bank and Trust Company. And we are talking with a Parish Championship undefeated 26-0 girls basketball coach. Damien, good afternoon, sir. Congratulations. And thanks for the time, buddy. I'm sure it has been a whirlwind 24 hours for you and the crew.
Casey, I got to tell you, it's been a whirlwind last probably 10 days. Going through probably the last week with about 10 hours of sleep, about 4 complete meals. It was time for an end of the season, I can tell you that.
And look, your ladies shined bright. It was an adversity-filled last week. You have some pieces that are a little banged up, some kids that had to maybe miss some time, and you faced 2 very quality opponents. Thibodeau was the runner-up. LCO finished 3rd. So for your team to be going through some stuff and fighting through it and finish strong and be able to run through the tape, I mean, you guys wouldn't have it any other way. And using a cliche, your girls just never stop believing.
I like that. I'm glad you got that in there. Look, the way that the schedule fell, the way with the weather delay this week, we took on the top 3 teams in the parish aside from us, and that's being Lockport, Thibodeau, and LaRose. And we played Edie White last Thursday, and we started to get a little banged up. And then we had another injury come down on Monday, a little ankle twist. and then we had a more serious issue on Monday evening, and we hit the not the flu bug, but a little illness bug, and we played two of the top teams in the parish without our starting center, and we felt it, especially early against Thibodaux, and Thibodaux was a good environment for middle school basketball. It was a great crowd. Both teams wanted to win. Both teams were prepared, and we had a little bit more lady luck on our side with some shots falling, and we were able to get that one. And then the old cliche, I guess, is a trap game and a hangover game, and we experienced both of those this week. I think we may have not. I don't want to say we, but some of us probably overlooked Lockport a little bit to get to Thibodaux. Everyone was looking forward to that game, that rematch. And then the hangover game last night, a game that we were still hungry for because we still had something to play for. But at the same time, we set a goal to win a parish championship. Being undefeated was kind of the icing on the cake. But we talked all season about it. The bench strength that we were able to develop was crucial this week, and that's what led us to being able to come outright parish championships, unprecedented 26-0, and despite what people may think, slowing us down is not really a win.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Look, talk me through the final seconds of the game against LaRose. You guys, the clock's running down. Hey, we're the parish champions. We're undefeated. This journey has ended. You just beat a big parish rival on top of it. What was going through your mind there as the final seconds were coming off the clock in the game against LaRose?
Man, I got to tell you, my emotional gas tank was probably on E with about 16 seconds left on Tuesday. So got to work with Coach Dennis Gaines for a little bit, and he had a famous line saying, "Fake it till you make it." So I really, really tuned into that last night, and it was relief, sense of accomplishment, and I'm so happy for the girls. And we probably stayed in the locker room for about 45 minutes, and we shared a lot. Mr. Mel was in there, and he shared a lot. We had our coaching staff in there, and it was awesome. To be able to experience something like that is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and we're definitely going to take advantage of that. But look, anytime you could beat LaRose at South Lafourche in front of a jam-packed crowd, it was nuts. I didn't really respect that enough last night, but watching film this morning, that wasn't a place to sit in that entire place. And I expect the same tonight. It would be an awesome matchup tonight with the Tarpons and Vanderbilt. But for two middle school teams to have the opportunity to play a game that had some meaning in front of an awesome crowd, that's life experiences that don't happen every day. And it was awesome to be able to provide that to those girls. And I watched the film, and the girls were embracing each other, and a lot of emotion. And I watched myself just walk to the back of the line, and hey, bro, we're done. This is over. And my first conversation once the clock struck 000 was with Mr. Melison, and just telling him how much I appreciated him. We had some external issues this year that he had my back on 1,000%, and I wanted to make sure the first person I talked to was Mr. Mel, and he needed to know how much I appreciate him and his leadership, and he has a lot to do with our success. Him and Desi Sanders as well, our athletic director. Tremendous amount of respect for those two and the amount of effort and management they have in our program.
Talk to me about this, man. You guys obviously after the game, I think maybe take the girls out to eat or whatever, and what was that like, bro? Because look, there's always this meme on social media. It's like there's always going to be this time where it's going to be the last time you're outside playing with your buddies as a kid, and you're never going to realize that it's going to be the last time. Well, that's going to be one of the last times that you're going to have the full band together. So I'm sure it was extremely joyful and, a memory that everybody's going to remember. But I'm sure there's also a little sadness, too, of like, man, hey, this ride that we all cherished so much, the roller coaster is now finished. And the person is unlocking all the seats and saying, all right, time to go. And I'm sure there are a lot of people, probably Coach Damien included, that's not ready for that roller coaster ride to finish.
I think that was a lot of the emotion last night, was that, hey, look, it's over. And and multiple people said it in the locker room, and Matty Curo was probably the loudest one, saying, Coach, this is the last time that we're going to have this team together. Yeah, we're going to have a bunch of us back next year because, look, end of the day, we're losing 4 people, 4 crucial parts of our team, but we still got a lot of folks coming back. So I people may think, oh, look, Golden Meadow had this one run. We still got some talent, man. We still going to compete. I'd put our roster against anybody next season, but I think that was a lot of the wet eyes in the locker room was because, hey, look, this is it. Specifically for our 8th graders, Kimberly, Lizzie, Brax, and Sophia. They know it's their last ride, and that we're not going to have this group together. Special group, a group that I'm very, very happy to have been a part of their journey and to be able to manage the season for them. But yeah, we all went to eat after. All the parents got together with the kids, and it was rather interesting. I could tell you the last 3 years. I'm grateful to have friendships with Kinsley Terrebonne and Alea Guidry's parents, and Alea and Kinsley as well. Considering them now that they're getting older, they're friends of mine, and I've always gotten invited to the Rose Party, and I've always gone because I have relationships with a lot of the parents and the kids on those teams. And this year it was my party, and I definitely attended my party, and we had a really, really good time. We had a lot of laughing, a lot of jokes, a lot of picture sharing. A lot of these girls have been playing together for a long time, and we pulled some pictures out from, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 years old, and just laughing about how much we've changed and things like that. And I can tell you the happiest person that the season is over with is my wife. Erin told me last night, hey, I'm going to be glad to have you back because the last 3 weeks I've been very much to myself, ingrained in my iPad, watching film and just making sure that I gave my best effort because it's a challenge as a coach when you have a team that is this locked in to. You almost got to meet what their standard. We set a standard at the beginning of the season, and they live that every single day, every practice, every game. Nobody was better than us, and the scoreboard proves that 26 times this season, and some of them by a wide margin. And I wanted to make sure that if we were going to have a bad night, that I had my best night, and that I was going to put them in a position to still be able to win some basketball games. And putting that extra work in, it definitely helped this week in our in the 2 tough games that we took part in.
Yeah, awesome to hear, man. And look, talk me through the season as a whole. Long journey. You guys, as you mentioned, win 26 games in a row. When did you realize? And then look, the answer might be even in the preseason, for all I know, because I know that this is a group that did have a lot of hype about them coming in. But when did you realize this is a team that has a chance to do some stuff that hasn't been done in a while? And then the second part to that question is, when is the last time that Golden Meadow has won a Parish championship?
So we were able to start our almost practice during tryouts. We didn't have the numbers that we've had in the past, but we had the quality. And I told Coach Dew and Coach Manny and Coach Cody, we could start now. We don't have to wait. And the fact that the girls had put in a lot of work in the summer, the previous years, we had a lot of returning players, and even the new players, they already kind of knew the system. So it didn't take us that 3 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever that looked like to have to install a bunch of stuff. We already knew our base sets, and we got to start at a level that I've never started at a middle school. And we knew at that point that we could compete. And then the first tournament that we went to, we played the big dogs late in the tournament. We played Homan Junior High, which was the Terrebonne Parish champions. We beat them in the semifinals to get to Thibodaux, and a lot of the social media hype was around Thibodaux. We were told through social media that Thibodaux was going to beat everybody by 20. And, I had that in the back of my mind, and we beat them. At that point, I had got to do a lot of scouting already, and I knew we were better than a lot of teams that were on our schedule. And at that point, we started to kind of kick it into a gear that we needed to figure out if we were going to do this. And we were favored for the rest of the season, 19 more games or whatever that was, that we were going to be favored in that. Obviously, we didn't know who we were going to face in the tournament. We faced a very good J.B. Martin team that had one of the best players that we've faced all season. We ended up playing them twice because we had let so many points up in the Vanderbilt tournament. And, that was 2 quality wins right there against a really good team. And after that, it was, hey, look, if we do what we're supposed to be doing and we execute and we keep this effort up, there's nobody that's going to beat us. Obviously, Tuesday, there were a lot of concerns because going to Thibodeau and playing a quality basketball team at home in a crazy environment is going to have some concerns. But obviously after that, we knew we had a great opportunity to do it. But that was the game that everybody was looking forward to because everybody else on our schedule, I felt like we were heavily favored. And to answer your second question, actually, I asked to Mr. Mel last night. We believe that it was 2010, 2011, Coach Brett Stahl's team. But, Case, basketball's changed a lot since that time, and the parish has changed. The middle school system has changed, and they allow us an opportunity to play a lot more games. I only had 20 games scheduled, but with the success we had in the tournament, that created some more opportunities for us to play. So we ended up playing 26 games, and I think those teams were 12-0. I don't know, and you could correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if there's been a 26-0 team. I know Homer Junior High the last 3 years or 2 years that they've had that tremendous team and coaching staff there. They put together a lot of wins. I don't know, pound for pound, I think we have to be in that discussion.
Yeah, no doubt, man. That's amazing stuff. Hey, man, thanks so much for the time. Congratulations to you and the ladies. And my advice to you, and I'll say it publicly, I've told you this in text also, soak it in, dude. Enjoy it. Don't be embarrassed to make that Facebook post. Don't be embarrassed to make a bunch of Facebook posts. Let everybody know it, man. You guys did something that hadn't been done in a long time, and let the people know about it. You deserve to smell your flowers, brother.
Casey, I can tell you a couple weeks ago, I made a comment to Coach Dew, and I said, look, we got to make sure we enjoying this journey. And he said, look, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We're never going to get a team like this again. And I think that kind of locked me in a little bit more. I probably enjoyed it a little bit less after that conversation. But if you've seen my social media and you haven't deleted me yet, there's going to be a lot coming. This morning I made a post. Man, I can tell you, working at Danos and going through some of the leadership training that we have, it has opened my mind up to just a lot of different things, and one of them is giving praise. So I want to make sure that everyone that's been a part of my journey knows that and knows that I respect them. I'm appreciative of them, and I made a big, long, sappy post about my childhood coaches today, and some of them are here, some of them aren't here. And I just want to make sure that they know that they had a big effect in what we did this season. And last night I had the opportunity to talk to about, I don't know, eight or nine different former Lady Lions. Some super successful when they were there, some average success while they were there. But I wanted them to know that they laid the foundation for us to be able to do this. And talking to the mayor of Golden Meadow on Thursday morning, he's got some stuff planned, and I want to make sure that those Lady Lions are heavily involved in that as well, making sure that they know that any Lady Lion that's played for me, you had a part in this special season. I want to let them know that.
Hey, man. Thanks so much for the time. Congratulations again, buddy, and can't wait to do this again next week.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Yep, that's Coach Damien St. Pierre. We thank him so much for his time. They are going to be rocking and rolling. They're going to be doing some parade stuff for the kids. They've got the shirts made, and heck, man, he mentioned it. The last time they won Parish was 15, 16 years ago, so that's a long time in and of itself. But then I don't know if ever they have won 26 straight games. So soak it all in, enjoy it, and I'm happy that they're getting their moment in the sun. And now those kids turn into Tarpons, and that's going to be even more fun in the next couple of years, seeing them evolve and develop under Coach Kathy Luke and the women's basketball program. Extremely bright days ahead. Cannot wait to see.